Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing great. So let's try and answer a very important question, which I think we all encounter on a day-to-day basis, especially if you're operating in the corporate context. And the question is, how do I make myself visible in a meeting? Now, we often attend so many meetings, both virtually and in person. Unfortunately, not many of us are aware about what we really need to do to make our presence felt, to make ourselves visible in a meeting. Now, why is it important to make yourself visible? First and foremost, if you don't become visible in a meeting, perhaps the suggestions that you give, the ideas that you share might fall flat. People might not even really know what you're thinking. And therefore, it's really, really important that you make your presence felt. But it's not just about making your presence felt physically, it's also intellectually. So how do we do all of that? So I'm going to share with you 6 simple things that you could practice in each meeting that you attend, and that will help you make yourself more visible and make your presence felt the right way. So here they are. The first thing that you need to do is to dress well. Now, you might ask, what is dressing well? We all know how to dress well. But the fact is, especially if you're attending a meeting outside of your organization, let's say you're meeting a client or you're meeting someone for an important reason, then it's important that you dress really well. So dress according to the situation, especially in the corporate world. If you dress yourself in the right context, then you make yourself more visible. Often people tend to take meetings very casually. So sometimes people might walk into a meeting room with a pair of jeans or t-shirt. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong, but you got to understand what is the culture predominantly in your organization and dress accordingly. I personally believe that when you dress formally for a meeting, you take yourself seriously, and therefore you also prompt others to take your thoughts seriously. So number 1 is dress well. Number 2, do not reach on time. What am I talking? Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make here is don't reach a meeting on time. Try to reach before time. Now, how does that help? When you reach a meeting before time, you get some time to spend with the people who are there. For example, you can chat with them, you can connect with them, ask them about how they are doing in their personal life, things like that, which will help you break ice. Apart from this, you can also recollect your thoughts as to what exactly do you want to say during the course of the meeting. So being there before other people always is a good start to any meeting that you conduct. So try to be there for a meeting before other people walk in so that you have some time on your hands to plan things out. And that brings us to point number 3, which is preparation. Nothing ever works well unless you prepare for it. So preparation is the key for any successful meeting. So what kind of preparation are you supposed to do? Now, a lot of this preparation actually happens before you start the meeting, wherein, for example, you would identify what are the documents that you need to take with yourself, or what are the questions that are likely to be asked. If you are someone who's going to respond to people's questions, what homework do I need to do? And at the same time, preparation also means basic, simple things like, do I have a pen? Do I have my notepad or my diary with me? And other things that I need to carry. Okay. So all of this is part of your preparation. What preparation does is that it makes you feel confident. And that is why preparation is the key. A lot of times people walk into a meeting without a pen, without a diary, or they're not prepared to answer the questions that people are going to ask them. And then they lack confidence. And that clearly shows. So preparation is absolutely vital. So do not underestimate the importance of planning and preparation. Number 4, while you're in the meeting, ask questions. Perhaps this can also be a part of your preparation, where you can think about what questions am I going to ask. But if you're not prepared with your questions, that's all right. As the meeting progresses, if you find there is a reason for you to ask a question, by all means, ask a question. But at no point in time, you should ask a question just for the heck of it. Sometimes people tend to ask questions just because they want to look intelligent. That is not the right thing to do. Perhaps you need to ask a question that will help the meeting move further. Or you ask a question that will provoke a thought process. Or perhaps you're asking a question to seek clarification. That's the kind of question which will make your presence felt. Sometimes when you ask a question, others also start pondering upon it. And they said, yes, I think that's an important question that you've asked. So when you ask a right question, not only you look sensible, but you're helping every member in that meeting think on those lines and perhaps come up with better ideas. So asking questions is predominantly a very, very important thing that you could do, not just for yourself, but for all the attendees in a meeting. Number 5, encourage others to speak. Attending a meeting does not mean you're the only one who hijacked the agenda. Meetings also mean that you provide others an opportunity to speak and share their thoughts. Sometimes you'll also see that new joinees in the team are reluctant to share their thoughts, sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of the feeling that they might be judged, and therefore they do not speak. But even they could have some great ideas to share. Therefore, it would be great if you could take the lead and ask others to also share their thoughts. Ask new joinees especially to share their ideas. This makes you look wonderful in a meeting because you are playing the role of someone who is lending a helping hand to those who are reluctant to speak or are afraid to speak. So by doing this, you are doing a great service to all people in the room because you're allowing them an opportunity to share and they feel heard in a meeting like that. So encourage others around you to speak. Perhaps it's a good idea to point out to them and ask them, why don't you share? Why don't you share? And people will invariably add their thoughts, and that makes the meeting very, very productive as well as insightful. Last but not the least, be observant of your body language right throughout the meeting. So what do I mean by body language here? Well, a lot of times when meetings get dragged beyond an hour or two, you can see people slouching, their interest levels dropping, and that shows on their facial expressions and in their entire body language. So whenever you're in a meeting, just make sure that you're seated properly, that your body language is positive, it is approachable, and it encourages others also to ask questions to you, and they find you approachable in every respect. So make sure your body language is conveying the right messages. Sometimes even when you don't speak, it's perfectly all right, but things like, I'm listening to what you have to say, acknowledging the points that other people are making goes a long, long way in making your presence felt during the course of a meeting. So these are 6 simple yet powerful ways of making yourself visible and making your presence felt during the course of a meeting. So what are they? Here they are. Number 1, dress well. When you dress well, you get noticed. Number 2, reach before time so that you can build bridges, connect with people, and that will help you ease into a meeting. Number 3, preparation is the key. Ask yourself, what are the basic things I need to have? What are the questions I need to get prepared with so that I can answer them confidently during the course of the meeting? Number 4, ask relevant questions. Remember, your questions should be thought-provoking, should be insightful, and they should help the meeting go to the next level. So asking intelligent and relevant questions is a definite part of that. Number 5, encourage others around you to speak. Think about those who have joined fresh, who are not confident, who are afraid of being judged, and help them with a helping hand. And number 6, be aware of your own body language. Your body language is always going to be observed during the entire course of a meeting. So ask yourself, am I looking interested? Am I acknowledging the points that other people are making? And by doing that, you can definitely make your presence very solid and very strong. So those are the 6 points that you may want to carry in the next meeting that you attend. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for listening to my thoughts.